Nestled in the scenic and unspoiled mountains of southwest Arizona, there is a guest ranch that for nearly a century has offered its guests a genuine Western experience that keeps people returning year after year. In 2016, the Circle Z Ranch celebrated with its friends and guests their 90th year of providing exceptional hospitality, horses, and an intangible and intrinsic feeling that this is a second home for many from across the world. It is the oldest continuously operating dude ranch in Arizona. The ranch location is blessed with surrounding mountains and natural beauty. And Sonoyta Creek, which flows continuously year-round and throughout the ranch. The Circle Z Ranch, originally a sheep herding operation in the 1880s, was developed as a dude ranch in the mid-1920s. The main ranch sits in the shadow of Sanford Butte, known to ranch guests as Circle Z Mountain. Distinguishable from a fair distance in most directions, it serves as a guide for riders seeking the ranch huddled at its base. This butte has probably always served as a guiding sentinel since the days of the earliest Apache Indians. A hike to the top of Circle Z Mountain will provide the climber with a panoramic view of the Santa Rita Mountains to the north. The Santa Cruz Valley to the west, the Patagonia Mountains to the east, and Mexico to the south. A register was placed some years ago at the top of the mountain to make a permanent record of your presence on this magnificent outlook. Once you have visited the Circle Z Ranch, you are forever a part of its long history. Originally homesteaded by Denton Gregory Sanford from New York in 1874, it was operated as a cattle ranch and later a sheep ranch, and was traversed by the New Mexico and Arizona Railroad, remnants of which remain today along the many riding trails. In 1925, the Zensmeister family of Louisville, Kentucky, purchased the 5,000-acre spread from Sanford's daughter for the location of the present Circle Z Ranch, and began to develop one of the finest guest ranches in the state, with an initial capacity of 24 guests, which quickly expanded to 70. It was the golden age of dude ranching, and back then, guests often stayed the entire season, and the average stay was typically a month. The flat land under Sanford Butte and west of the corrals served as the Circle Z polo field. And there was once a swimming pool, which was fed by Sonoyta Creek. The ranch was the center of many activities, including a July 4th picnic where upwards of 2,000 guests might attend. In the 1930s, Circle Z was the home of El Sultan, the Spanish stallion owned by the ranch. He was a Cartuja Spanish sire, with the unique distinction of being the only one of his breed in the U.S. Established in 1500, it is one of the oldest breeds in the world. He started as a gift from the Royal Spanish House before its abdication and reached the U.S. via Cuba. There were only 6 such stallions outside of Spain. In Spain, the breed is known as Caballo Santo, the saintly horse, because it was originated by the church and has an extremely gentle disposition. The Spanish remount has used the breed for centuries to produce cavalry horses. Even today, the Circle Z is noted for its fine horses, many of which are bred, raised, and trained on the ranch. The natural events of drought and economic political events of the Depression and then World War II put a crimp in the public's desire to travel, and the Circle Z ended up changing hands several times. Fred Fendick came from Chicago in 1949 and purchased the Circle Z and operated it for the next 25 years. In 1952, fire claimed the main lodge, and the Zinsmeister House became the main lodge in that year. The ranch, with its genuine Western nature and unspoiled scenery, has played host to several Hollywood Western movies, as well as advertisements and magazine shoots. Perhaps Broken Lance, with Spencer Tracy, Lee Marvin, and Monty Walsh, which was filmed here, is the most recognizable of the Western films. Scenes from John Wayne's movie El Dorado were also filmed here, and the final episode of the long-running TV series Gunsmoke were also filmed on the ranch. Young Riders, another TV series, also chose the ranch for locations. In 1974, Fred decided to retire and the future of the ranch was questionable. But fortunately, it was acquired by Preston Nash and his wife, Lucia, who wanted to keep it operating in its historic and honored tradition, that of a traditional family-style ranch with an emphasis on great riding. Exceptional food and hospitality. And congenial guests. Their deep interest stemmed from Lucia's many visits to the ranch as a child, with her family, dating back to Zinsmeister's ownership. Her many visits as a child developed into a lifelong passion for conservation and preservation of vital habitats. These values were a driving force in her visions for the ranch, spanning over 4 decades of land stewardship. Thousands of guests over the years have been the beneficiary of Lucia's vision for preservation and conservation by the surrounding natural beauty they can experience. As an accomplished equestrian with an abounding passion for horses, Lucia guided the ranch into becoming simply the best in Arizona, emphasizing excellent horses and phenomenal horseback riding opportunities. Through her visions and guidance, the ranch has not lost sight of its mission.
Well, in 1924, 2 brothers, Lee and Carl Zinsmeister, decided that they wanted to come to Arizona and search for some property to start a dude ranch. This was back in the heyday of dude ranches, and they wanted to get in on that. So they came here from Louisville, and they found the property, Circle Z Ranch. It had been a cattle and sheep herding operation owned by Sanford. They bought the property and started building all of these buildings that you see now. And they opened their doors in 1926. Soon after they opened, Lee Zinsmeister married Helen Zinsmeister, and for the next 20-some years, they would operate what was known as one of the finest dude ranches in Arizona. Back in the 30s, my husband's family, his grandparents from Cleveland, Ohio, started coming here, and they brought their daughters, Lucia and Karen Ash. And this is in the time, these young girls' very formative years. And for this whole family, they were very much conservationists, and they loved this area. They realized the importance of the stream and the canyons, and how that supported so much habitat and the huge array of biodiversity that we see here. So they really fell in love with this place. Lucia started coming back here in the late 60s with her children, Rick and Audrey Nash, and rekindled all of those fond memories that she had from her childhood. So when Fred Fendig, who had bought the ranch basically from the Zinsmeisters and operated it for 25 years, he was going to sell it to some developers for a tennis resort. And Lucia, she caught wind of that, and she said, no way, that's not going to happen. She loved horses. She just, the beauty, the buildings, everything. So she bought it. And Rick jokes that my husband Rick jokes that his father said, oh, so now we're in the hotel business when they bought it. But he jumped in, and they started putting their brand on the Circle Z. Her love of this place, her love of nature has really set its mark for us. She added properties over the years that were adjacent to Sonoyta Creek, that were adjacent to the land here, and she's protected over 2 miles of stream in this area where water can be very scarce, and the migration happens through there of the birds in the spring. We have all kinds of mammals and reptiles that come through this area, and Lucia made it possible for that to continue. So we're really proud now to, as we look back now on our 90 years, and we look back to, what the Zinsmeister started, and then what Lucia continued, that this area has, and this ranch will be preserved well into the future for many, many generations to come.
In celebration of 90 years of horses, hospitality, and hats, the ranch hosted a special celebratory week to acknowledge its past and look forward to the future. Former guests, friends, and neighbors converged on the ranch for a week of good food, friendship, and riding adventures, culminating with a spectacular evening of entertainment and reminiscing.
Ay, como resumba y suena, resumba y va resumbando, resumba y va resumbando, mi cascabel. En la
Everything is special about the ranch. I would begin with the culture of the Circle Z, which is genuinely welcoming and really focused on service to clients here who like to ride, who like scenery, who like nature, and who don't want to be dudes, they want to be riders. And here, with this marvelous horse herd of 80 horses, you get to ride every day, morning and afternoon, in magnificent scenery, both on the deeded acres, which is about 5,000, and on thousands of acres of either state or national forest in the Patagonia mountains. It's unbelievable. The scenery is incredible. The climate is marvelous. The horses are beautifully trained. I've been in a lot of places in my 81 years. Nothing like this has ever happened to me before, and I consider myself fortunate to have discovered this place, and will keep coming.
What's special about Circle Z Ranch? Well, let me look back on the last 10 years. Our family has had a chance to come here 10 years in a row now, at different times of the year. You know, year-round is very mild, not too cold, not too hot, and there's a lot of activities here. Obviously, horseback riding is the main attraction, and my two daughters actually learn horseback riding during their time here. They started out riding a pony just with a rope, and then they actually started going on rides by themselves, and they're just going out. My kids now are at the age where they can just go out and go on rides without us with them as parents. And you know what? My wife and I think back, this is one of the most relaxing vacations you can take as a family, because your kids will love it. They will be able to go out and adventure, and in a very safe and secure environment, they can just go out and roam and be kids. And as a parents, that's something that you really enjoy seeing, and it makes for a very relaxing and stress-free vacation. You can see that your kids are enjoying it, you're yourself enjoying it. It's a chance to unwind. It's a chance to just disconnect and unwind from the real world. And honestly, I think the Circle Z feels like family.
I think that youth should be interested in coming to Circle Z because it gives them a chance to be outdoors and learn to love the horses. And if you've spent your life doing things like this, it's like we have. It's just, an extension of getting to enjoy nature and animals and stuff. But if you have never really gotten to experience something like this, it definitely would spark that interest in being outdoors, and I think that's really important.
I think that Circle Z is a great place because it's a place where parents and grandparents and kids can all be together, and we can be doing activities together that are fun for everybody, and it's a great time to get together, and there are lots of fun things to do.
The ranch continues its long history and legacy for genuine Western hospitality through Lucia's son Rick and daughter-in-law Diana Nash, who continue the reputation of excellence in every aspect of hospitality at the ranch. Over nearly a century, nearly everything is to some degree changed, and yet somehow everything that made the ranch the icon of Western hospitality hasn't changed and continues through Diana and Rick and their exceptional staff, especially Jenny and George Lorda and their family, who have been the ranch managers for over a quarter century.
No, it's just been a great experience with the people, and this has been our lives, and we enjoy it every minute of it, and the guests made it happen for us, you know.
And I think this is a place that, you know, it's quiet, and just seeing the scenery, the views, you know, you don't see it anywhere else. You know, you can go to other places, but to a lot of the guests, they think this is home. This is, you know, a family place, you know, and they enjoy it. And we enjoy it every morning, getting, you know, being there at 6:30 in the morning, having coffee, telling stories about the past, hearing, you know, things. So it's a fantastic place. And you make a lot of memories. You know, we talk memories about families that have been here like 30 years ago. And I think the hardest thing is for us is on Sunday when they leave, because, you know, they leave and then you're starting all over again.
They treat us like family, like their families, and we treat their like families because we've known them for so long that they're like part of the family.
Yeah.
People like it. They like what we do.
Yeah.
You know, and they keep coming back.
As magical a destination the Circle Z Ranch has been for over 90 years, we think what really makes it special are its guests. For the ranch, the future is guided by its past, and guests can be assured that everything they enjoyed about the ranch will be there in the future for themselves, their children, and grandchildren.
Known this place so well. I mean, I grew up in that cottage over there pretty much, you know, and some of my best memories are from this place. I mean, not even the like the mountain or the horseback riding or the nature even. It's just the feel of this place, the friendliness, you know, the fact that people can come all over, enjoy this place, you know, have new friends, have new experiences. That's really what makes this place for me. And I think that I know this place so well. It's just kind of cemented spot in my heart for it. I feel like I've come to love, nature and geology and whatnot here. And I think that that's important for a young person, definitely.
The owners and staff of the Circle Z have shown that without a doubt, you can improve things and yet not change things. And that's just the way their guests like it. Come to Circle Z Ranch and be a part of its history. And we'll see you at the corral.